lesson. Hello everybody, hello, welcome to CNWPP. I hope you guys are all ready to be formed from students into legends because we are going to make sure that when you guys get that certificate that you're going to be ready for a pen test alone. From start to finish. I want you to be able to start your own company if that is your goal. That is my goal as well, to make you independent because I am sick of seeing people working as slaves for other people for minimum wage. And don't tell me that 25 bucks an hour is a lot of money because guys, these people are making bank on you when they do a pen test. I am talking about money starting from 100 bucks an hour going all the way up to 400 bucks an hour if you're specialized. Don't undersell yourself. Don't sell yourself shorts. This is very important to realize because we are going to make sure that when you get through this course that you know the industry standards, that you're not just somebody who does hacking. I want you to realize what OSSTMM is. I want you to know what OSSTMM is and the requirements for CNWPP mid 2023 exam are going to be even tougher than they are right now because I expect you to not only select a good methodology, but I expect you to demonstrate a good methodology for your exam. That means that your test plan needs to be according to your methodology chosen. That means that you have to be an industry standard person who can deliver a pen test worthy of a legendary status. I want you to get invited back by your customers, not to be a one-time experience. That is my ultimate goal. So I hope you're ready for this, my friends, because we are gonna get crazy today. Now, today is gonna be very simple, very basic. I'm gonna explain to you some of the things that make a pen test, that make up a basic pen test. So we're gonna start by defining what a pen test really is from start to finish. This might take a little bit, but by the end, I need you to be able to write a test plan. I need you to be able to read an NDA and pick up the flaws because you can be sure that when you start your exam, I'm gonna send you an NDA that has a terrible clause in it. Something like, hey, I'm gonna take over your company for $1 million, or you're gonna pay me $1 million after this pen test, or whatever. I am gonna make sure that if you sign that NDA, you fail. I'm gonna make sure that if you leak information to a threat actor, you fail. I'm gonna make sure that if you are costing me money, you fail. I'm not gonna pass somebody who's gonna cost me money. I'm not gonna pass somebody who would bring me in legal trouble. Just so you know, I am not super strict about anything in the sense that if you don't even find everything, that might be okay as long as the communication with your client about your coverage is good enough. As long as your communication about vulnerabilities is good enough. Never, ever send a vulnerability detail in the Discord server. If we go through these exercises and I see you guys sending unprotected information through the Discord server, I'm going to make sure that you guys don't do that anymore. I'm going to tell you, and don't be ashamed of it. I just need to condition you. I need to bring this to you that it is super important, all of this information. Because guess what, guys? If you want to be a pen tester, what are you going to do for the majority of your time? Documentation, that's right. And especially if you're a high level, mid level management person, team lead person who has a few people below them, that is going to be the major majority of your stuff. Now, we are going to go through Jira as well. I am going to work with Jira for you guys on this. Might sound a little bit crazy, but give me a little bit of time. I'm going to set up some Jira service desk projects, and in those service desk projects, we're going to work with assigning people steps to do, things that they have to do. So we're gonna get there. We're not there yet. I will set that up. So just so you guys know, might take a little bit of time, but we will do that. While you guys are doing exercises, I'm gonna start doing that. I'm going to go through some material, through some theory, but it is the intention that you guys all do the exercises. Now, If you don't want to do the exercises, that's fine. Just let me know right now. I would like to divide you into groups. Since you guys are here, we are with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and myself is 6 people. So I am going to divide you into 2 groups. We're going to be working with 2 groups today. If you cannot talk through your microphone, please chat in your respective group chat. I'm gonna make some roles right now, and those roles will get access to different chats. So we're gonna make a role group 1. So think of a team name. That's the first assignment. So we're going to go to group 1, and we're going to manage the members. Who's here? Facet is here. Mr. Magician, Tricky Lemons, Mr. Magician. I'm going to put you guys in a group. And again, if you cannot talk, at least try to help your group. If you really cannot help, if you cannot do anything but pay attention, let me know as well. That way we at least know in the group that we don't have to count on you. It's important because we are going to work as real group members here. And Infinista, or oh, Jesus, my memory is horrible. I know there's somebody else here. We have Illusionista, there we go, that is group 1. And then we're going to make another group for group 2. Ooh, why did I close that? We're going to go to roles, create a role, and we're going to go for group number 2, green. So we're going to make some, this might seem strange, but we are going to really go through the exercises. This is going to be a private group for group 1, and we're going to have a private channel for group 2. I'm also going to make you guys a voice channel for your respective groups, and I still need to assign members to group 2. I just realized that as well. And we will make a voice channel for group 1. Ooh, need to make it at the voice for group. Here we can go with group 1, and we create a private channel for group 1 members. And we're going to, there we go, create another one for group 2. So the people in group 2 that are with me are lucky because I'm going to drill you like crazy. The other people, they have it a little bit easier, I'd say. Oh, so, yep, I wasn't wrong. That's not 6, that's 5. So let me assign myself to group 2. And we have Mr. Arthia Mudden. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Now, when it's time for an exercise, we're going to go into our respective group channels. We're not gonna go, so we're after this, after our, ooh, there we go, we are going to add you as a friend, and we will, let's see, add you to the group. I need to click like this, group number 2. Throughout the exercises, you can also earn badges, and you can also earn, was Orgis already assigned? I don't think so, right? No, Orgis is group 2 then as well. There we go. So we have group 2. Oh, Mr. Magician is gone already. So I will help in group 1 and group 2. I will jump around. When we do the exercises, I will jump around anyway. I will go from group 1 to group 2 to make sure that you guys are on track, and if you have questions, you can always ask them, of course. Now, we're going to start with some theory. This is important because we need to define what a pen test is first. That is a little bit of a PDF file that we have here, but we also have a PowerPoint presentation. What is pen testing? Now we're going to go to the PowerPoint. Feel free to go through the PDFs yourself. Oh, I don't want to work with Keynote. There we go. Now, this is still in the old format. There's a new format as well. I don't know why I haven't replaced it yet. Please, somebody from my staff remind me to do it. It's important that I do that. I'm going to make sure that OBS is filming. There we go. We need to put the image off. And we're going to start with what is a pen test. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're not going to see the exercise time itself where I jump between the groups, but you will see the summary. After the exercises are done, we come back to this channel and we go over what each group has done. This is an interactive lesson, so please try to be interactive. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them also in chat. I'm sure that if I ignore your question because I don't hear it, one of my staff will stop me and they say, hey Wes, please answer this question. So first we're going to start with what a pen test really is. It's about an hour, it says here, but it will take a lot less. I'm gonna plow through this a little bit because I sort of expect you to do some self-study as well. I can give 500 hours lessons of this stuff, but it will never be enough. That's why I expect you to do some self-lessons yourself. Defining what a pen test is, a lot of people want to get paid to hack, of course. We are finally in an age where we can be white hats, where we can hack and get paid for it. But my friend, a lot of trouble that I see is that a lot of people that I want to hire, for example, want to be a pen tester, but they don't really know what a pen test fully entails from start to finish. Now, pen testing is an art. It's not just your hacking. It is guiding your client from A to Z. You shouldn't see yourself as a pen tester. You should see yourself as a cybersecurity expert with a specialization in attack techniques. That might seem a little bit strange, but you don't want to scare your client. The problem is if you say, I'm going to hack you, everybody gets scared. Whereas if you say, listen, I'm going to secure you, I'm going to check your security, that's a totally different experience, that's a totally different attitude. Now, I want you to use ChatGPT. A lot of people say don't use ChatGPT. I don't give a shit. Use every tool you have available to you, especially for guiding your client, because people like me, we are not very good at making any sort of communication. I hired people for that. A good friend of mine and an employee London is working on a lot of that stuff. I have reviewers like Keith who do an excellent job looking into any mistakes in spelling and grammar. It is important, but also I can just use ChatGPT if I really need quick communication. Please write me an email informing my customer we found a vulnerability, a critical vulnerability, and needs to set up a meeting ASAP. Why not, right? Why are we not doing this? I mean, don't ignore this. Don't ignore any type of AI. It really helps. And if you need to, use it to write your test plan partially. You can see that this thing writes a better email than I could pull out of my ass in years. This thing pulls it out of its ass in 5 minutes. Why wouldn't you use it? I mean, you'd be stupid. People say like OSCP, don't use it. Okay, the thing is, don't use it for critical like things. Like for example, if you are making something, don't use it to write secure code because it doesn't write secure code. I have a video coming out with a friend of mine, Chat, where we asked it to write a PHP program that is vulnerable as can be. Then we asked it to secure it, and it's still vulnerable as can be. Then we asked it to secure it more. Guess what? It is still vulnerable as can be. That is the problem. As you can see here, I don't know if it's still here, blockchain. As you can see, I just used this thing to completely write a lot of my things. What is a password reset token? Why not? Why wouldn't you use this? I even use this sometimes for test case generation. And the problem is it has a limitation of 10 test cases, so I just asked you to write more. But if you really need to use this a lot, just pay for it. It is really important that you understand everything about AI, that it's a tool, it's going to help you. And this might be a little bit of a rant, but my friends, please take this rant seriously. It is coming, AI, and it is there to stay. So please use it to your advantage. Use it to partially write your test plan. So let's say that we have chosen OSSTMM. Please describe OSSTMM. And I can use this. I can use this in my test plan. Why not? Why wouldn't you do that? It's important that you understand that this is a tool, that this is something that you can use, and I expect you to use this. I expect you to use tools. I expect you to use vulnerability scanners that you have at your availability. I don't expect you to buy a $400 Burp Suite license just for this exam, but take the 30-day trial and try to do it that way, or use another vulnerability scanner like Burp Suite or whatever. I am not OSCP. I am not against using this. If one of my people said, I don't want to use a vulnerability scanner, I have been taught that vulnerability scanners aren't good because OSCP told me not to use it. Dude, I will kick him in the nuts. That is not the way to go about this. Your client has different levels that they can take of security. You can offer packages. The thing is, not everybody has the same budget. Think about this. So what we do is we often refer back to PTES, which defines three levels. Level 0 vulnerability scanning, that is brainless vulnerability scanning, just let it run. That takes a little bit of time to set up, that takes a little bit of time to analyze the results, and it might cost a little bit. But then you also have level 1, which takes more of the business logic into account, which is more of the pen testing, the active stuff. There you're going to charge more, of course, because your hours are going to be more, your estimations are going to be more. But you also have your compliance levels, your nation state levels. Those are also important to take into account. Banks, for example, have a very high grade of security that need to be consulted. They cannot live with just a vulnerability scan. Does that mean you cannot use vulnerability scans? No, use them. Jesus, are you stupid? Why not? If you are allowed to, if you have a license, fucking do it. Don't be afraid. And also with us, don't be afraid to use vulnerability scans on your exam. Use Nikto, use your Zap, use whatever it is. We're gonna throw a lot of stuff at you. We're gonna throw different things at you that you can test. So let's first define what that pen test really means. First of all, we're going to get assigned a scope. This is a scope that you need to guide your client towards. What does that mean? Not every client is aware of security. Let's say that they take a lot of third-party apps into account. You need to make sure that you ask if these third-party apps are in scope. If they're not in scope, then you need, holy shit, my window's open, it's -4. My window's like fully open. You need to make sure that those things are in scope. And your client doesn't know what they want in scope often, because it will depend on the security levels that they are expecting. If they are expecting the highest level of security, you might even need to take their VoIP into account, their servers, their networks, their whole organization. It will really depend on the type of pen test that you get, but your scope is going to be holy. That's going to be protecting you from from being sued. And my friend, you can rest assured that if I'm going to give you a scope, like a specific website, that I'm going to put links on that website that are going to lead to out of scope websites, but they will look exactly the same. For example, I might put a link for like this hexpert.com. So you have hexpert.com here. You might have labs, and I might have a link on here that goes to an IP address that is fully out of scope, but it is still on this website, and it's going to look exactly the same. It's going to look exactly the same, my friend. Why is that? You might be wondering. Because you need to be always aware of what you're testing, fully aware of what you're testing. And it doesn't matter if you just click around on it, of course, if you just open it. But if I see any attacks, if I see any vulnerability scans because you haven't set up your vulnerability scanner properly, then you can be sure that you fail. You can be bringing me in a lot of legal trouble that way. Because let's say that they have a test server. That test server might have a link to production, and they might have it hard linked. We might have a dumb developer who puts a hard link in there. Okay, that's fucked up, because then if you go to that hard link and you go testing on production without realizing it, and you go, I don't know, DOS testing, and you bring down a server, you cost them money, you cost me money. They're gonna sue us. They're not gonna be inviting us back. You're gonna be costing me my client. I won't like you very much after that, of course. Make sure that you always are aware of what scope you're testing on, and that you're testing on the correct scope. Again, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to try to deceive you on that. So make sure that you listen to me. When I say this is the scope, this is out of scope. We are expected to be ethical. That means signing an NDA often. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. We will go deeper into that NDA. Read your NDAs. Present them your own NDA because you also are going to be developing a certain methodology, a way of working, and you want that protected. Well, if you want that protected, send them your NDA because you're going to be sending them a test plan. You're going to be sending them a report. Does this mean that in this case you need this for our exam? No, I'm not gonna fail you if you don't send me an NDA, but I would like it. It's an extra point. It would definitely help if we are doubting for your exam if you're gonna pass or not. I'm just saying, if you send me your NDA, I'm gonna be a lot happier because then you realize the value of that NDA is gonna be protecting you as well. I am gonna be sending you my NDA for protecting me. That makes me aware that you realize the value of an NDA. It doesn't have to be much. Just say that I am not allowed to leak any confidential information. Done. And then put on your test plan that is confidential. Done. Protect our customers is our number one priority, my friends. Believe me, when you get a target, you become the target, and especially if it's a high-level target. If you know about their internal workings, you need to work securely, very securely. You know how we deliver our reports and test plans? We use Keeper. Keeper is an end-to-end encrypted tool that is used for passwords normally. It's a password storage tool like, Dashlane or something. But it also has Keeper Vault, which is an encrypted vault where we can put our documents on, and then we can share a one-time link to a protected PDF file, a password protected PDF file, and we can send along the password protected PDF file. It's really impressive what it can do. I don't expect you to go that far, but I do expect you to password protect every PDF file and never speak openly, publicly about any vulnerabilities that you found, even if it's in a private Discord server. Dude, Discord, do you know how they make their money? I don't either. They're massive. They're fucking massive. Do you know that? Do you really think that there's that many Discord Nitro subscribers? No, there really isn't that much. Do you really think that there's that much server boosters? Yeah, fine, there's server boosters, but I don't know how they make the money for real. I'm not gonna be the one finding out. I use Keeper Chat for all my secret information. I just make sure that I share my documents securely. Don't use any public vulnerability scanners. I cannot tell this enough. Like MobSF, for example. MobSF has a public vulnerability scanner. If you cannot run it locally, MobSF can be run online. But don't fucking do that with your client's data. Like, this is a public server. Anything that you run for MobSF is gonna be public. Check this shit out. So let's say that I would upload something, recent scans. Here you can see all of the apps that are uploaded. Spin my Oxo, front door is Paylight, YouTube Go. Like, how can you be sure that this is not this client? This just seems awesome because you get the MobSF scoreboard with it. Oh, one clear text is enabled for app. Oh, nice. That might be interesting. Maybe I can use this even to scrape stuff. I mean, a real advanced hacker wouldn't have a problem scraping these scorecards for something that they can exploit. Debug enabled for app. This is a debug application. Blockchain 1.0. Shite. That is very, very interesting for hackers, of course. Do you guys understand the gravity of the situation? Just to be sure, does everybody understand that this is your holy grail? Your customer is gonna be your number one priority. Never ever use anything public, anything at all. I've hired somebody, and believe me, guys, we can monitor shit. Now we're going to see every single step that you take on your exam servers, and it's gonna be fucking awesome for us. Because if we see that you, for example, we're going to tell you don't go beyond 5 requests per second. If you have a tool that goes beyond 5 requests per second, fail. Like you're gonna be risking your client. Let's say that you're testing production servers, and your tool does go beyond 5 requests per second and pulls down the entire server, the entire production server. That's gonna cost money for some people. Like let's say that we are talking about crypto exchanges. They are gonna get sued because the people are gonna say, I lost money because of you. You have been online. I couldn't trade because of you. I lost money because of you. They will get sued. Believe me, they're gonna get money from us. They're not gonna pay it out of pocket. If we find any applications that are uploaded here, for example, that is fucked up, that is really fucked up. That doesn't mean that there aren't tools that you cannot use. For example, Bright app has a free vulnerability scanner. So Bright Security app, Bright Security, BrightSec, that's the one. They have a vulnerability scanner that is free, well, not free, but they have a trial version. Do it. Sign up. Create a free account. Sign up with GitHub. Let's just give it a go. The XSS. Oh, right, I'm on a new computer. Let's just sign up with Google then. Let's do the thexssrat@gmail.com. Create a free account. Organization name testing. Create. Oh, that might already exist. Let's just give it a unique name then. There we go. We need to. So here you can get connection guide, scan my own application. So let's say that you want to scan your own application. Next, get real scan result, learn how to set up a scan and run a real scan. Use this to your advantage. Install the CLI. Okay. So let's say that you have your own application. In this case, it's not going to work with this. Here what you need to do is set up the repeater. So in this case, a repeater is just like they aren't allowed to scan, you are allowed to scan, so you need to set up your own repeater. This is something that you don't have to use. You need to have an own VPS for this and shit. But I'm just saying, all of these things are okay because this, while online, is private. You need to log in for this. That's a different story. It's just a different story when you use something like MoPaSF that is completely public to anybody and everything, and anybody can watch along with what you're scanning. I mean, this is a haven for hackers. You realize that, right? Like, people think that hackers use a lot of Shodan. Of course they do, of course they do. But scans like MoPaSF public scanner are a haven for this. I am seriously considering setting up a public cross-site scripting server to see if I can catch bug bounties before other people can. Because they're gonna use my scanner to do that, and I'm just gonna teach them a lesson. And I know that I'm a dick for it, but this is a good lesson for people. You need to realize that public scanners are public. So I don't think there's any questions about that, right? But nope, apparently not. That doesn't seem like it is very hard to understand. ChatGPT, same thing. Don't feed this thing any kind of public information. You don't know what's behind ChatGPT though. Like, okay, vulnerability scanners, that's a different thing, but ChatGPT, that's what I mean with don't trust it for high level stuff. Like, if I really need to make, like, okay, I have my test plan, I'm not gonna trust ChatGPT to make me a hacking checklist. Make me a pen testing checklist. I can try, but I'm gonna do it myself. Believe me, I'm gonna do it myself. I need to know what is going on. This is good. This is definitely good, but you need to realize that this thing can miss. This thing is based on 2011 information. Make sure that you have your own idea of what you need to do, that you have your own test plans ready, and I am going to always recommend for any type of pen test that you do, PTES. It is open source. Everybody can edit this. You can see that this is built by the community and they've thought about everything. Read this very carefully, my friends. Just go through it. We will go through it ourselves as well. For part, I'm not going to go through every single part, pardon me. aspect of it, but I will go through a big part of this because I think it's important that you guys realize what a pen test really entails. So much more than just your hacking, as you can see, your pre-engagement, your intel gathering, your threat modeling. Has anybody done threat modeling before? Well, that's a very important step of pen testing. Vulnerability analysis, your exploitation, post-exploitation, what if you have something exploited. This is something that OSCP teaches strong as well, by the way, in my opinion. You really don't need to think that every single client is going to give you permission per privask. It's not in the cards, my friend. Privask is a very rare occasion. Usually our clients say, if you get in our network, get the fuck out and report it to us immediately, please. By the way, I'm sorry, Keith, my swear jars are really filling up, isn't it? Anyway, so we have all of this settled. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Sorry, bro? Orgus and I. That's good. Finally, you brought it. We're good, good. Anyway, all joking aside, just so you guys know, Keith and I were talking about setting up a sweat jar and how it would fill up real fast. And as you guys see, it will fill up real fast. I'm not the most professional person. I hired other people to do the meetings for me. I'm just there to listen in and to try to say, I'm gonna send the invoice tomorrow. That's my job. It sounds funny, but it's true. I'm not the most communicative person. I'm not the best at it. People seem to love me. I just sent them red t-shirts. That's my job, sending out red t-shirts. So I'm not gonna be replaced by any AI soon yet, just so you guys know, because sending out red t-shirts is a very complicated job. Fuck you, AI. Get the fuck out of my space. We need to make sure that we really deliver a test plan, and I always say my test plans need to be repeatable by internal testers. What does that mean? So every single time that we get a document, there's probably going to be an internal security person on the other side. They need to be able to read and repeat what I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to do a vulnerability scan with Burp Suite and then I'm going to go through a network hacking checklist that I've made, here's my checklist, that is important. I think that is super important. That is why on Confluence I have a ton of checklists as well. I've made a checklist for Jenkins recently. I have a network checking hack list. I have a website checking hack list, GraphQL checking hack list. There's just a ton of things that I can always copy and paste. I also have a ton of templates. And guess who made those templates? Yep, you're right, ChatGPT for a degree. Like for example, that email template that I sent you, Keith, that's made by ChatGPT. Thank you, AI. I really appreciate it. You know, AI and I have a love-hate relationship. Sometimes we get along perfectly fine, and sometimes we are in arguments, especially if it wants to take my jobs. Not only do you want to deliver a proper test plan, you want to deliver a proper report. And as my pen test manager always says, this is the only thing that you get today for your client for over $10,000 sometimes. This is the only thing that's left for your client is your test plan. So your test plan, your test report, your deliverables basically. That's going to be what's left, your test evidence. You're going to be doing a lot of work for these people, probably sometimes hundreds of hours. And so if you can count 100 hours times $100 an hour, that's 10K. What do you have to show for your 10K? That's your report, that's your test evidence, that's your test plan, that is your coverage test, your coverage document that you deliver. And that is what I mean when I say you're going to spend the majority of your time documenting. I don't put this in the course, but I make and I force my people, and I know that some of them hate me for it, but I force them to make a coverage matrix. Now, what do I mean by a coverage matrix? Let me quickly open Excel. Sometimes we estimate how many times we're going to do over something or how many time we're going to take for a certain test. Now, let's say that we have hexpert.com. We've done some exploration and we found out that there are 5 endpoints. This is purely hypothetical. So we have hexpert.com/test.php. And no, let's make it realistic. Let's make it realistic. So we have account settings.php. We have our let's see, invoices.php. That's also an endpoint. No, I do not want to go to the link. You stupid Excel piece of shit. Does piece of shit count as swearing, by the way? I hope not, because otherwise I'm really in trouble. Expert.com/invoices. Oh, perfect. Good. I can say as much as I want. Well, shit. That shit count. Let's see. So you have invoices.php. We have give me a URL. What else would you find on an HR application? Anybody an idea? Customer support maybe? Contact.php. And maybe index.php, of course. Every website has index.php. Is there anything else that you would find on a... Oh, contacts. You said contacts, right, August? Contacts. Yep, that is the people that you have on your contact list. And then you have your index.php. So we have our 5 items now. Now I need to define... Sorry, August? Support, that's also a good one. Expert.com/support.php, your service desk. So we have our few URLs now. Now we need to determine if these URLs are public or if they are private. And pay close attention, guys, because I don't teach this in the course. This is something that I only do in my pen testing. Public, private. Then I'm going to determine the security risk, my gut feeling, and then I'm going to put into words what kind of issues I expect here. Again, gut feeling. Then I'm going to put the coverage level, and then I'm going to put the weighted coverage level. Now, what is the difference, do you guys think, between coverage level and a weighted coverage level? Anybody a clue? Well, you are very, very close to what it is. Weighted, so let's say that I have some endpoints here. Account settings, of course, that's going to be private. Invoices is going to be private. Contact is going to be public because it's just a contact page. Contact is private. And we have index.php, which is public. Support is also public. Yeah, why not, right? Security risk, account settings. Is there any what if something goes wrong on this account settings? Is it what is your gut feeling? Would it be something that goes terribly wrong? Would it be fucking up the entire system? Would it be fucking up the user? Do you guys have an idea? Well, like on the account settings, I would expect something very high. Right? Yeah, exactly right. If something goes wrong, it will go terribly wrong because you're fucking up an account. If something goes wrong on the invoices, I would even say critical because this is data. This is personal information of the customer's customer. This is very, very critical. Contact.php, it'll depend. It'll depend, right? If, well, can they do like defacement? Can they get access to the system? It's an iffy situation. The Yeah, exactly. That's also a good one. It can be indeed, but it can also be. usually, like if I get a cross-site scripting on account settings, I would say it's high. If I can get a SQL injection, it's high. If I can get something like make myself admin, it's high. It's usually high on account settings. If I can get something on the contact page, it can be something that is as simple as a very simple thing. It can be cross-site scripting. So I would agree indeed that you can even put this to medium high. Good remark, Gorgas. Exactly. This is something that can go very wrong here. So we will put that up. XSS cookie stealing. For the contacts, for the different contacts, well, that is of course critical. For index, I would put that to medium, and for support, since, well, I would also put that to medium high. I would say the same thing, right? Orgus and even blind XSS might be an option here or an issue. Let's put this to action. I will show you what I mean. So the support page is going to be something along these lines. Let's log into red side, customer support, contact customer support. Here we go. You can put a message in and it'll be sent to customer support. Your query has been sent to customer support. I would say medium high even, right? Because again, you can steal things. And then exactly. The index.php has nothing really. There's really nothing on the index.php. So I would say medium, but maybe also high, because if you log in and you go to index.php, it does show your name. So maybe you can do again some crazy funky stuff here, but usually I would usually put it to medium. Exactly. That's also pretty bad. Your password is test, it said. So that's an issue there. It's there, and that's also sent over unencrypted channels sometimes. But yeah, let's assume that we don't know that. Let's assume that it's just this that we know, because we don't even have an account yet. There's nothing really here. So we don't really know. Let's even put that to low then. And then we have contacts.php. Well, of course, we can steal information. PII is a very big issue here in Europe. Again, cross-site scripting might be an issue there. SQL injection might be an issue there. Those types of issues are is expected. Injection issues in general, command injections maybe. Yep, exactly. Log injections. There are issues that can occur there. And here we have the same in invoices. Whereas account settings, we don't have that PII, but we have XSS injection and potentially HPP, parameter pollution, because you might be able to send a reset account password email to somebody who doesn't belong. You might even be able to find your dang it, now I forgot the name of that API issue. There's an API issue, mass assignment. Mass assignment is an API issue where properties of an account are exposed where they shouldn't be exposed. Like your account type equals user, change it to account type admin. But you might not even see that on the page. On the page you might see nothing. It's just that you can sometimes send that account thing in. So we have something here, weighted coverage. What I'm gonna do now, I usually do it like this. So my critical is 10 points. I will put that in here. Crit is 10. Crit 10, and I will put the high usually to, sorry, 13, I should say 13. A high is 8, medium is 5, a low is 3, and informational is a 1. Why do I do this? Because now I'm going to set up weighted coverages. High here means that I'm going to have my coverage times 8. That's my weighted coverage here. Now I'm going to have my critical. So this will be 13, because if I multiply 100% by 13 is, oh, 14, sorry, my bad. I can't even fucking count. Okay, multiplications, go west. That's why I use Excel. This is a medium high. Let's take the medium approach. Let's make that a 5. Then we go here and we go put this into a critical category, which is the 13. Ooh, I made a mistake there. I put the wrong thingy. There we go. Oh, I don't know why this says 14. No, it is 13, right? 100 percent times 13 is, there we go. And for the low, we put the same thing times 30. Ooh, yeah, it's just 3, fuck it. And we have a medium high again. Let's put that to 5. Now, this is important because now I can see the total weighted work. Total weighted work. And I can see, okay, this is the sum of this. Why is this important? Why would this be important? Why can't I just say I have 5 endpoints here? My coverage level should be 500%. It's important because you're going to put much more work into the high criticals than you're going to put into the low mediums. And that is what I base my estimations out of. If I give my client an hour estimation, I will say total weighted work. I will say total work, and that's going to be just the sum of this, which is going to be in this case simply 5 or 600%. I mean, because we have 6 endpoints. Now I can put this into a percentage as well. I usually put this into a normal number, cell, and then format should be number. There we go. That's a big difference, and that's what I mean by costing a lot of money if you estimate poorly. If you really do estimate poorly, you're going to get a lot more. You're going to say, I'm going to need, like, I'm going to assign some hours to these points, but I'm not going to assign the same hours for every person. Why is that? Because, like, if Orgus is going to work, he might work a lot faster than Lemon. So I'm going to say, okay, Orgus can do 5 story points an hour, or 5 weighted points per hour. That, I don't know, I'm just throwing out numbers here. So I'm going to assume that Orgus can do 5 points per day, or let's say 5 points per 8 hours to make it more realistic. And Lemon can do about 3 points per day. So he does 3 points per 8 hours. All right. So these are the people that I can put on here. And now let's say that I have the resources available for the coming week of Orgus and Lemon. Okay, these are weeks, so 40 hours a week. So let's say that I have Lemon for 40 hours a week. Lemon can do in total, there we go, 40 hours this week. So we have 3 times 40. Let's see, 3 times 40. Lemon would be able to do 120 weighted points. I can easily do this. Okay, then let's say we have Orgus for the week as well. 40. Oh no, sorry. What am I doing? I'm sorry. I'm not completely in it. That's 5. So Lemon can do 15 weighted points. Jesus. And Orgus can do 25, and we have a total of 40 weighted points. Not enough. I need more people on there. Okay, so we need Orgus for 25. We have both for 40 hours. I'm already at 80 hours. So let's say a week. I need both. This is 1 week of work. That is in total 40 hours per person. Yeah, try to keep up. It's not simple. You thought you might have not needed math anymore. And I need another person for another 7 hours on this. Now maybe we have Keith here who can do another 4 points per 8 hours. Then I'm gonna need Keith for 2 more days as well, because in total he can do much more than we need. We are already at 40, so we might not need him for the full days. We might just need him for 2 more days. So we just say 2 days for him, which is in total another 8 points, which makes in total 48 points Okay, I need in total 88 hours of work done times 100 bucks equals 8,800 euros. Please, they have an idea of the budget that they need to foresee. I have an idea of the money that I'm gonna be able to get in, and I might pay Lemon about 20 bucks an hour. Well, that's not true. I might pay Lemon 40 bucks an hour. I might pay Orgus 60 because it was a little bit faster, and Keith, who's in the middle, gets 50. I know my profits now because I can make calculations. This is not what my client needs to know. All my client needs to know is this here. So this goes off to the client. In total, we will need about this many hours of work. And now I can do something magical even. I can say how many hours or how much percentage, how much weighted percentage has been done on these tickets. Because guess what? These aren't just random numbers. These are story points in Jira. And that's what I like about Jira. It's story point based. These are all story points that you see here, and they really help me determine who I can assign to what. I don't judge in hours per person because I know that not everybody can perform the same hours, and that's why you don't pay everybody the same amount. That's perfectly fine. At a certain point, people will grow. They will might be able to take on more story points because they might be much more familiar with the cases. It's simple as that. And now you also need to pay your manager, etc. So you might think, okay, 88 is a lot, but if you take off how much everybody gets paid, you might be left with, let's say, 4,400 as a number because everybody needs to get paid, but you also need to pay your manager. So now you're left with 2,200 for the business for a pen test that takes a week. That's what you make in that week. Do you think you make that money yourself? No, forget about it. Because guess what? You might also need to buy a Burp Suite license, 400 bucks gone. You might also need to buy, Lord knows what, somebody's phone might break, 1,100 bucks. You see where that money goes? Insurance money, because guess what? My guys don't have their own insurance. I'm insured for my people. How much do you think that is a year? That is my amount that I pay for my yearly, no, sorry, I mean quarterly. So you need to multiply this by 3 even to know the amount that we pay in insurance. It is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. But I need that insurance. That is why it's so important that you don't fuck around with pen testing. It is not something that you should be taking lightly. You can break stuff very, very easily. You need to pay lawyers. You need to pay insurance. You need to make sure that you have all your documentation in order, that you have the right type of company set up. You're going to pay yourself a paycheck. And guess what? You're not gonna pay yourself 3 grand a month. You're gonna pay yourself the absolute minimum because you want your company to grow. My friend, welcome to pen testing. I'm gonna take a short 5-minute break and then we'll continue right back to it.